The film takes place in a prison in Korea, where the leaders of two gangs compete for power. So fiercely, prison guards must use high-pressure water hoses and batons for repression. However, the prisoners still resolutely resisted, determined not to give in. Even though they were imprisoned, they never surrendered. Witness this chaos. The prison director complained that this will ruin his chances of promotion, and desires one of the two gang leaders transferred to another prison. However, the head of security, Ellen, warning that no matter where they go, trouble will also follow it. Instead, Ellen grant both criminals special privileges to keep peace between them. One day, Jaho tried to carry a hidden blade into the bathroom, despite being discovered by a prison guard, and reminded that even an agreement has limits. Jaho is still angry, declares that he will not stop until he killed Jong-hoon with his own hands. Currently interim head of security, keep them under control by sending to each person their favorite foods. However, this balance is threatened when bad news occurs. One of the Mafia clusters, the most dangerous in Korea, will be transferred to this prison. While the winter director worried that this will cause more trouble, Chong firmly believes that the appearance of a more powerful predator will calm the situation. For my part, Jaho and Young-hoon met at the prison yard, determined to determine AI is the stronger one. Members of their gang, hand-to-hand combat, and when a person is knocked down, immediately had a replacement teammate to continue the battle until the end. The battle took place with brutal punches, painful chokes, and powerful flying kicks. Even the prison guards were excited to follow along. Finally, the moment of confrontation between the two leaders leading to an evenly matched battle, where their gang members are also joined the melee. However, the war goes beyond limits, forcing prison guards to intervene again. Jaho was scolded by Ul that he was too old to bother with a young gang. Like Jong-won, Ul forbidden Jaho received a visit with his girlfriend, unless you pay a sum of money. Young then met Young-hoon privately and reminded him to respect his seniors like family. The next day, the scary guy entered the prison. And right when Young-won commented that the lipstick looked familiar, hearing that, Sun stared at him. This makes Young-hoon unhappy. However, the lipstick immediately made Jong-hoon shy with just a single kick. For this special debut, the prison guards decided to put Sun in a separate room. Although Mutin and Ul Jong promised to treat you well while you're here, if he can keep the price, and Jong-hun is under control. Meanwhile, Jaho told his juniors about the time he met Sun 15 years ago. At that time, Sun worked as a bodyguard for a large mafia organization and defeated a young Jaho and his teammates to protect a girl. Remember this. Jaho warns his juniors that they should respect the new prisoner and try to win his trust. However, when they introduced themselves with lipstick, Young-hoon's juniors also did the same thing, leading to a competition for favor. Instead of choosing to take a side, Sun persuaded both leaders to reconcile, to express gratitude to the department head. Security and the director of the detention center kept their promise. Treat your son like a king. Offers delicious food and many perks. However, Sun refused. Enjoy all the amenities away from that HOA. Prison gangs gradually realized they had many things in common and begin to harmonize. Even more fun than ever. Director Mutin couldn't be more pleased and promised Ul Jong that when he was promoted, he will cede the position of prison director to you. Until the day of farewell, Woo Dong announced that he will be transferred to a women's prison and decided to hold a grand ceremony. He invited a group of beautiful singers come perform for the prisoners. Later, the prisoners organized their own talent show. It was exciting, but the joy didn't last long. After Mutin left, Yu El-in was not appointed as a director, but instead Pon Ho, a tough veteran, with the intention of not being lenient with prisoners. Immediately upon taking office, complains about the condition of the prison, but Yu El-in reminds that the prison has just been chosen as a model training facility, thanks to the positive changes that lipstick brings. Instead of being satisfied, Pon Ho got angry, accused In Young of becoming a prisoner-like person, and punished him by hitting him on the back with a stick, like old times. New director later announced that he did not intend to stay long, because the main goal is lipstick. Under Pon Ho's orders, prison guards interrupt prisoners' breaks and beat a person, refused to leave the cell. Ja-ho was surprised and asked why, cause an attitude change, and he only replied in short sentences, "New director, new law." When prisoners cleaned the camp yard, Pon Ho orders 6 to search the cell for prohibited items. Not long after, prison guards discovered cigarettes and many other illegal items. As a result, prisoners are forced to shower for less than 30 seconds, even being kicked out despite having soap all over his head. Leaving the bathroom, Pon Ho asked who was the cigarette owner. At the same time, warned that otherwise I will receive the sentence will be extended. Even so, the people who are treated the worst are still the lipsticks, Da-ho and Young-hoon, people who are locked up alone just because he was respected by other prisoners. At this moment, I recognized Pon Ho's face and asked how he was. Appears here. Calmly, Pon Ho reminded that he swore to chase Sun to hell. The story switches to a flashback, revealed about cheating. A hand equals the Young party. One night while drinking with friends, Ran-ho called some girls to serve, but the girl chose to refuse to drink alcohol. Ran-ho tried to force her by beating her, causing a riot. The incident caused Sun to intervene. However, Jeon-ho is not afraid at all. Break the wine bottle and dive into the lipstick. Sun just stepped aside, causing Jeon to fall from the table and died on the spot because of a broken bottle. Turns out Ran-ho is not an ordinary gangster, but Pon Ho's son. This explains why the new director wants to take down lipstick. Although Sun affirms that cheating brings his own fate, Pon Ho successfully sent him to prison for 5 years and intended to detain him, forever taking advantage of forbidden items installed by himself in the prison cell. When Sun screamed in frustration, he was hung from the ceiling and subjected to another beating. Even so, he still continued to challenge the new director. Meanwhile, some prisoners pretended to faint from exhaustion to create opportunity. Let one of them climb over the wall. Escaped, however. The prison guards quickly caught him and severely punished all those involved. To prolong Sun's sentence, Yu El-young tries to convince the family, and Young-woo alleges that Sun is the leader of the smuggling business, prohibited in prison. But both of them did not dare to stand up, denounce Sun for fear of his revenge. The next day, the Sun's wife went to prison to visit her husband. She was the person that lipstick saved from coughing, and then get married. However, Pon Ho brought her into his office, offered her a cup of coffee containing anesthetic. When she fainted, Pon Ho took pictures of her in a strip state, then ordered his subordinates to bring lipstick. Pon Ho promised Sun that he will sell your wife to a prostitution ring to avenge his son's death. Sun writhes in despair, can't do anything, in addition to witnessing brutal punishment that even on in is considered excessive. In the next scene, Pon Ho asks Jong-hoon to be released on parole because his mother is dying, and Jong-hoon wishes to see her one last time. In return, Jong-hoon must help Pon cough. Sun endures more suffering. Jong-hoon seems to agree to the deal because he was seen walking out of prison right in front of Yaho. Yaho can't believe that Jong-hoon had his 4-year sentence reduced so quickly. In the solitary confinement area, an elderly prisoner named Duo attracts Saul's attention and warns you that the prison director will not stop until he broke down. However, Sun has no intention of letting that happen, so he decided to escape from prison with Duo's help. Who knows this place better than any AI? The first step in their plan, Duo called a prison guard with the excuse that Sun was dead because he didn't hear any movement. In the prison cell, when the prison guard opened the door, he saw lipstick lying on the floor. Take advantage of the opportunity. Sun stopped pretending to be dead. Take down the prison guard and steal his clothes. Complete the disguise. Sun said goodbye to Duo, promised that one day he would help him escape. Disguised as a prison guard and wore a mask, Lipstick silently approaches Kovskin and told him about the prison director's plan towards his wife. Immediately, the junior of Daho forms a thing. People to create a distraction to help Lipstick sneak to the exit. On the go, UL sees the back of the Lipstick, but didn't recognize him. When the prison guard woke up and raised the alarm, everyone realizes Ra's son has escaped. Not long after, Sun broke into a club managed by Jong Hoon's gang. After defeating the henchmen, Sun forces them to reveal where Jong Hoon is. There, Sun reunited with his wife, who immediately revived her spirit when she saw her husband. However, the trouble is not over yet. When Sun faced Jong Hoon and his subordinates, realized that the situation is not simple. Jong Hoon confessed that he had no other choice, and even knelt down and asked for forgiveness. But that's just a trick, because Youngwon suddenly stabbed her Lipstick with a knife, said he just wanted to see his mother one last time. Even though he was injured, he still defeated Dong and Gu. Sun then led his wife and fled through the alleys. Face enemies on the way. They ended up hiding in an abandoned house, where the son asked his wife to contact the police to complain. Pon coughed after giving instructions. Sun decided to end this once and for all. He faced Jong Hoon again. Jong Hoon continuously hit Sun's wound, but Sun took advantage of a melee attack to get the knife and reverse situation at this time. Jong Hoon regrets and helps Sun contact a reporter to expose the truth about Bon Ho. At that moment, a group of reporters rushed in. Bon Ho's meeting with the inspector questioned the rumors. The inspector curiously checked Bon Ho's phone and discovered her photos. Simultaneously, realizes Bon Ho is hiding a prison escape. The prison director was immediately arrested, and Yoon in silence did not defend him. Meanwhile, Sun and Young Hun were seriously injured, help each other return to prison to complete their sentences. However, because of the injustices he suffered, Sun was soon released. He said goodbye to his friends, especially Sha Ho and Jong Hun, then looked towards the new director's office, where Hun looks to be standing. Sun nodded respectfully before leaving. Closing the tumultuous story.